brother Stevie says good rising. That is now my thing, I say. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm Jamila Mustafa. I live in New York City. I'm a television host, I'm a speaker, and I'm a journalist. I host for outlets like iHeart, BET, MTV, TRL, ESPN, and the list goes on. But what I'm most passionate about is connecting with you guys. I went to a HBCU, Delaware State University. I had a wonderful opportunity to serve on this platform with Hall of Fame as first runner-up for Miss HBCU, and I just think it's awesome. So what I'm here to do today is to give you guys free game. So please soak it up, ask as many questions, and thank you for having me. As you guys know, Instagram is switching the game up as early as next week, taking away the likes. Now I know, some people think that's a good idea, some people think it's a bad idea. We're seeing so many times with social media, and the power of influence, the power of positive and negative hating. We dealt with the student in Atlanta, as you know, who passed away. Her roommate murdered her. It's not directly from social media, but all of that plays a role. Seeing a post. One thing that it doesn't allow you to do is focus on yourself. As they say, stay in your lane because there's no traffic there. Where what social media does is it puts everyone in the same lane. Everybody that's on your timeline, on your feed, they're in your lane. Everybody that you're following, they're in your lane. And so what happens is when you wake up, and most people, let's be honest, okay? You're not waking up checking the news. The first thing that you do naturally is like, wake up and check the gram. It's like literally, it's just natural. And when you do that, you're checking the Explorer, you're checking your feed, and that's a lane. And so you're watching what other people do, and what it can do, especially for a young college student, it can make you second guess yourself. If you're watching people post, you know what I'm talking about, posting midterms, straight A's, and you sitting up here like, damn, I'm in class with this person. They got straight A's and I failed. Posting different events. Wow, look how social they are, but I have anxiety. I can't be around that many people at an after-school event. And so those are some of the cons, is that if you are not 100% sure, and the sad part is that even a person who's as confident as Stevie here, it puts it so much in your face, it allows you to be insecure, and it allows that to seep in, especially at such a vulnerable time as now for you guys, when you're being molded and crafted into the dynamic individuals that you're going to be when you occupy the space of the world. The great thing about it is that for college kids, you guys can be entrepreneurs. You can create your world. I know a few of you guys were in high school, was on the whack side, then you came to college and now you lit. And you can do that same thing on social media. You can say, I'm gonna create an eyelash business. I'm gonna create a suit and tie business for young brothers, and we're gonna refurbish old suits for those freshmen coming in. And you can market yourself for free on Instagram before next week comes, and they're gonna switch up the algorithm. But that's the beautiful part, is that you just have to be secure and use an app in your phone that lets you know how much time you're spending on social media. And then out of that time that you're spending on social media, ask yourself, there's nothing wrong if I'm using 5 hours, even 7 hours, but how much of that time did I spend connecting with somebody, making money with somebody, or supporting myself and looking at inspirational things? Check out Stevie's page every single day. Make sure you guys go follow him. He's posting things that he's doing and inspiring. I think Stevie made a great point with the vision, right? With television, I think in whole, I work under the Disney umbrella and Viacom, which owns Paramount, VH1, BET, MTV, Nickelodeon, and Comedy Central. It's interesting because since we've been here, we've always been creators. I remember doing a show my senior year. It was a docu-series called My Black Back. And it was every invention, every idea, everything we created that was stolen from us, or as they call it, reboot. And they bring it back. I mean, it's ours, with just a new name. We're living in a beautiful time where on one side, you'll see a film called Queen and Slim coming out. Tiresias did a film. And you're watching artists like Lena Waithe and Mahalia Ava and Tyler and all of these Isas and these black writers and creators, and they're awesome. But if you take a look at their production deals, their blanket deals, most of them are signed to big companies. So once again, we're not owning it, right? And then on one hand, we are. And there is beauty in it. And so I think that for us, we have to take a fearless risk. Like how Stevie said, when we make the conscious decision to say, we're gonna own, we're gonna create, we're gonna have our own, and I'm going to teach our people, we have to stand firm in that same idea when it comes to our creations. Because a young minority can have a phenomenal idea, but if it's not attached to a major company, a major outlet, or a major crossover star, then for some reason they title the content bootleg, or ghetto, or startup, or just a passion project. And we're creating our editors, our videographers, our hosts. We're tripling the efforts that the rest of the world can do. And we have to invest in each other, and we have to continue to bring each other up. It's not enough to have one black writer in the room, to have one black host in the room. Because most time, you're not just competing with outside people. It is true. If there are 10 people auditioning for a role, and 7 of them are of a different race, and let's say 3 of them are black, you're not looking like, okay, I'm competing against the room. Naturally, you're walking in and you're like, this is my competition. And we can kumbaya all we want to, but we have to break it mentally. Because it comes here, and then you have to like tell yourself, and then you have to like tell yourself, okay, no, we're all in it together. Then you have to give each other like pep talks, whoever wins, it doesn't matter who wins, but as long as one of us win. It's really a process we have to go through. Absolutely. Because we're born with that, and they've made it so that we think it is a competition, or if we are occupying that space, we gotta be extra black with it. And we have to break that, and in television it's twofold, right? Because we complain, Love and Hip Hop numbers, all we see is Love and Hip Hop is ghetto, is da-da-da. But those ratings are ridiculous. Those ratings are ridiculous. Same thing with BET. We want to do community content. We want to do the teen summits to startups, but y'all aren't checking for that. Y'all want the exclusive interview with Miss New Booty and Jacquees in the battle of King and R&B. We want that, and it's a part of the culture. But we have to start putting our attention. We have to start putting our eyeballs, our viewership, our money. We have to start saying, we're not watching that program unless it's about our community, unless it's about our children, and we're going to boycott it. Right. And that's the way television works. Everything is about numbers now. So we have to control those numbers by deciding, because you can say whatever you want on Instagram. You know how you make the post, we need to do this, we need to do this, but your YouTube account is showing that you're looking at Love and Hip Hop. Right. And they're not going to give us any money. And then when you get hired for a job, they're going to want you to do that. Exactly. And anything else that you don't want to do, you have to go fund it on your own outside of them. So always continue to build your brand. But the beautiful part, Hank, about television, about the space that young minorities get a chance to occupy, is that not only do they see us, they've always seen us, but they respect us now and they need us. And what are you guys gonna do when you graduate to make sure that we take it up a notch and that we actually create a presence that cannot be denied? So Ms. I got out of school, and I'm gonna be very honest, you were very right. You were right about everything you said. I never got, like, my parents never played this, like everybody else was rich with the refund. I never had like any money or anything, so I was okay. So I got out of school, I had a job at BET, but I was like making nothing. I was like in a closet, and I didn't think it was real. Like for some reason, just like we didn't have these conversations at school. So I heard, like, I was just going off of what my friends were telling me, what I heard about somebody else, like, oh, you got 6 months or like 12 months before they even start calling. So, and nobody, like, they didn't have, because I just moved to New York, so I wasn't getting any emails. You know, Sally Mae wasn't sending me nothing, so I just thought, like, maybe they aren't gonna call me yet, or maybe they give me a little time. Maybe everything is chill. Lie to you not. Maybe 7 months, maybe about 8 months. It wasn't even a full year. I remember getting a call And this call basically said, no, I was missing a check. And I was like going to Viacom, because Viacom is like it's a big company. We were cast and crew was the payroll. Long story short, I was missing a check. They told me, well, we paid you, we don't know what happened. By this time, they just got an email, I got a call. They started garnishing my wages like right after I graduated. So I had to call them and kind of tell them I was homeless, even though I wasn't. I was homeless, I was sleeping in a car, and I didn't have no job. That's what I had to say. They went directly to my job, cast and crew. However they set it up so that I won't even see the money. I didn't even see no money. So then once I was able to do that, then they were saying like, then I was able to defer it, because you can defer for years and years. But that first year I was able to kind of defer, but then they wouldn't let me defer because I was already on the S list. So I had a minimum, I had to pay like maybe $10 a month, because I really told them I was really poor. But they can see how much money you're making. And so now it's like, now I can't really hide it, and I try to pay them. But it took me a long time once that happened, and the only saving grace, because they were going to take my money, the only saving grace is that legally, if they don't have, it's kind of like if you're serving a subpoena, like they have to give it to the person. So with student loans, like they have to make contact. Just because they didn't have my correct address, I didn't live in Delaware, they didn't have a phone number, like they didn't have, then they got the phone number for my job, but they didn't have, no one ever contacted me. So that was my saving grace when it came to my student loans, to where I was able to kind of get back on their good list and now build up their credit. But I would start checking now, because as soon as you graduate, like if you have any kind of job and you're not paying, they won't even talk to you. They're just going to talk to your job and then start taking your money, and then you have to like figure out a way to get back in their good graces. But that's a true story. Okay, now we've been to some schools, but it's something that tells me that y'all got the juice. So that's what we need you to do, right? You guys are going to migrate to the center. And as you guys get up, we need everybody in on this, because this is going on the gram. Now, once you guys get to the center, you guys can practice on your way. We need to hear your chant. We need to hear how Fort Valley State University is coming in 2020, because 2020 is clear vision. And I see you guys excelling, becoming the top HBCU right under Dale State, because that's my but y'all got the potential, okay? So we got to make it happen. Everybody up, we coming to the center. We got to hear the chant.